Hello, science fans! Today we're diving into milk, a drink celebrated for its nutrition, yet fiercely debated. On one side, it's praised as a source of calcium and childhood comfort. On the other, it's called white poison, blamed for health issues from acne to heart disease. Why is milk so controversial? Are we meant to drink it, or is it a modern mistake? Let's put on our science goggles and explore the real story behind milk, its origins, its role in our diets, and what science says about its effects. Ready to separate fact from fiction? Let's get started. To understand milk, let's start with biology. Milk is the signature of mammals, nature's first food for newborns. It's a nutrient-rich liquid, packed with fats, proteins, lactose, vitamins and minerals, all tailored for rapid growth and survival. Beyond nutrition, early milk, colostrum, delivers antibodies, giving babies a temporary immune shield. Once weaned, most mammals never drink milk again. It's a short-term, life-starting contract between mother and child. That's the universal pattern except for us. Humans are the only species to regularly drink milk after infancy, and from other animals. Our story with milk is about to get interesting. For most of human history, we drank milk only as infants. But about 11,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution changed everything. We domesticated animals, discovering that cows, goats and sheep could turn grass into a steady supply of milk, a survival advantage in tough times. Dairying emerged independently in different regions, fueling population growth and new cuisines. But there was a catch: adults naturally lose the enzyme to digest milk sugar, lactose. Early dairy farmers processed milk into cheese and yogurt to reduce lactose. Then, a genetic mutation appeared, letting some adults digest milk for life, a game-changer for human diets. This mutation would shape cultures and populations for millennia. The key to digesting milk is lactase, an enzyme babies produce to break down lactose. For most adults worldwide, lactase production fades, leading to lactose intolerance, gas, bloating, and discomfort after drinking milk. This is normal biology. About 65% of adults globally are lactose intolerant, especially in East Asia and Africa. But in ancient dairy farming populations, a mutation kept the lactase gene switched on, lactase persistence. This allowed adults to digest milk, giving them a survival edge. Today, lactase persistence is common in people of Northern European descent, rare elsewhere. The global map of lactose tolerance is a living record of our ancestors' diets and migrations. Our ability or inability to drink milk is written in our DNA. Is milk a health hero or a hidden villain? For decades, milk has been at the center of heated debates about nutrition, health, and disease. Some people swear by its benefits, while others question if it's really necessary, or even safe, to drink. Let's take a closer look at what the latest scientific evidence actually says about milk and your health. Milk is well known for being rich in calcium, which is important for building and maintaining strong bones and teeth, especially in children and teenagers. But when it comes to adults, research shows that drinking more milk doesn't significantly lower the risk of bone fractures or osteoporosis. Other factors like exercise and overall diet play a bigger role in bone health as we age. What about cancer? Some headlines have linked milk to cancer, but the reality is more complicated. Most large studies find no strong connection between milk and most types of cancer. In fact, some research even suggests milk might lower the risk of certain cancers, like colon cancer. However, there is a possible small increase in risk for prostate cancer if you drink very large amounts of milk every day. Moderation is key. And what about your heart? For years, people worried that the saturated fat in milk could raise cholesterol and increase heart disease risk. But recent, large studies show that moderate milk consumption doesn't have a major impact on heart disease risk for most people. For most healthy adults, enjoying milk in moderation can be part of a balanced diet. It's a nutrient-dense food, providing protein, vitamins and minerals, but it's not essential for everyone. There are plenty of other ways to get the nutrients found in milk, including plant-based alternatives and whole foods. Ultimately, the science points to moderation and personal choice. Your health depends on your overall lifestyle, not just one food or drink. So while milk isn't a miracle cure or a major menace, it's also not the villain some headlines make it out to be. The truth is far less dramatic and much more balanced. Beyond bones and heart, There's a lot more to consider when it comes to milk, like hormones, antibiotics, allergies, and even the impact on our planet. These topics often spark heated debates and raise important questions about what we're really consuming and how it affects both our bodies and the world around us. First, let's talk about hormones. While it's true that milk contains naturally occurring hormones, the actual levels are extremely low, far below what could have any measurable effect on human health. Even when cows are treated with hormones to boost milk production, strict regulations ensure that the milk reaching your table is safe. Antibiotic residues are another common concern. Dairy farms must follow rigorous protocols, and milk is routinely tested before it's sold. If any trace of antibiotics is found, that batch is discarded. As a result, antibiotic residues are rarely, if ever, found in milk available to consumers. When it comes to allergies, milk allergy is an immune reaction, mostly affecting young children. It can cause symptoms like hives, stomach upset, or even more serious reactions. Lactose intolerance, on the other hand, is much more common, especially in adults, but it's not dangerous, just uncomfortable, leading to bloating or digestive issues. What about skin health? Some studies have found a possible link between drinking skim milk and acne breakouts, especially in teenagers. However, the science isn't settled, and researchers still aren't sure exactly why this happens or if milk is the main culprit. But perhaps the biggest issue with dairy is its environmental footprint. Dairy farming requires vast amounts of land and water, and cows produce methane, a greenhouse gas far more potent than carbon dioxide. This makes dairy a significant contributor to climate change. In fact, dairy production is responsible for about 3% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than the entire aviation industry. This often surprises people, but it highlights the scale of dairy's impact. Ethical concerns are also front and center. Practices like separating calves from their mothers shortly after birth and keeping cows in confined spaces have sparked widespread debate and protests from animal welfare advocates. When you add up the environmental and ethical issues, the case against dairy becomes much stronger than the health arguments alone. For many, these factors are impossible to ignore. That's why more and more people are choosing plant-based milk alternatives, not just for their own health, but for the well-being of animals and the planet too. Enter plant-based milks, soy, oat, and a growing list of creative alternatives. These beverages have surged in popularity, offering options for those who are lactose intolerant, vegan, or simply looking for something new. Almond, rice, coconut, and even pea milks now crowd supermarket shelves, each with its own unique flavor, texture, and nutritional profile. The sheer variety can be overwhelming, but it means there's likely a plant-based milk to suit almost every taste and dietary need. Nutritionally, soy milk is closest to dairy, providing similar protein levels and often fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Other plant milks, like almond or rice, may be lower in protein or essential nutrients unless they're fortified, so it's important to check the label if you're relying on them as a milk substitute. Environmentally, plant milks have a much smaller footprint than dairy. They use far less land and water, and their production emits significantly fewer greenhouse gases. For those concerned about sustainability, switching to plant-based milks can be a meaningful step toward reducing your environmental impact. But innovation doesn't stop there. For those seeking the taste and function of dairy without involving cows, lab-grown milk is on the horizon. Made by microbes that produce real milk proteins, this technology could offer a promising, ethical, and sustainable future for milk lovers. So what's the bottom line when it comes to choosing milk or its alternatives? The answer isn't one size fits all. For infants, milk, especially breast milk or properly formulated infant formula, is essential for healthy growth and development. For adults, milk is optional. It can be a nutritious part of the diet for some, providing protein, calcium, and vitamins. But for others, it's unnecessary, and all nutrients can be obtained from other foods. Ultimately, the choice depends on your genetics, health needs, ethical beliefs, and environmental priorities. Some people thrive on dairy, while others feel better without it. If you enjoy milk and tolerate it well, moderate consumption is perfectly fine as part of a balanced diet. If not, fortified plant-based options, like soy, oat, or pea milk, are excellent alternatives, especially when chosen with attention to nutrition. The most important thing: stay informed, understand the science behind your choices, and select what's right for your body and the planet. With so many options, you can find the milk, or milk alternative that fits your lifestyle and values.